Okay. All right, today is Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. The time is now promptly 3 p.m. and I'm going to call this council work session to order. First agenda item we have is clearing confusion and setting the facts straight. We do not have any responses from our September 3rd visitor comments. So that takes us into public comments. And so now is the time for public or visitor comments. The visitor comment period is an essential part of local government meetings. Please address your comments to the mayor and council members. The city council will take all input into consideration. Please limit your share to 3 minutes or less. In observance to Oregon open meeting laws, this isn't a time for dialogue, but rather a time for us to listen to you. Responses to visitor comments, if needed, will be published in the next city council regular session packet. Please provide contact information on the sign-in sheet in the back of the room in case they need to get back to you for clarification. When you come up, state your name for the record. Otherwise, we will start with visitor comments. So the first person, please make your way up and state your name for the record.
Brady Freehand. So it's rare for me to do a thank you, but I read through the punch list stuff, items from Mr. Zier, and it's very comprehensive, and I was really impressed with it and had been concerned about all of the cracks, and it looks like he's done a very good job of identifying them, and hopefully they will get taken care of. And I think he deserves the kudos for making sure that that is done. I am concerned though, long-term, and that the contractor, it seems to me that there's a long list. That does concern me. But there is such a long list. So I don't know what that means. They've already done it, but I guess we have to live with that and hope that they all get taken care of. I am glad to see that you're reviewing the Parks and Recs job description. It's been 2 years coming that was the wrong description. My biggest concern is in the time of extreme budget crisis, there is no reduction in salary that it says that. When this job was advertised, it was for Parks and Rec, and now it's just Rec. And so with that should come a reduction in salary. And I don't think that position should be one of the highest paid in the city when it has about half of the responsibilities. And so in addition to adjusting the description, you should adjust the pay scale for that position. I'm also concerned about the just sort of design of the waterfront. I'll keep harping about it. There is no railing across from the splash pad. I think that was a design plan, but I saw a kid almost fall off that block the other day because there's no railing there. It's like you have railing everywhere except for right where all the kids are. To me, that doesn't make any sense. I think eventually you're going to have some pathway to the river there. I don't know what that's part of phase 2, but in the meantime, I think it's unsafe, especially when you have the splash park right there. And I do think that something should be done, that plan needs to be modified somehow until the rest of it can be completed if it's going to be, because it seems stupid not to have railing right across from the splash pad. Thanks.
Next comment, please.
An observation, that name is Topaz Stephen. This last few days, we've had a shooting over in Utah. It seems there's a discussion about free speech, which has become a national item. And one of the things in the First Amendment is that somebody should be able to talk about even the government without being jeopardized or punished. In my own case, I brought some problems about sewer system and storm drains to the licensing, and was considered out of touch with the law. In fact, I was considered, it would be illegal for me to talk about it. It ended up in federal court. And the federal court ruled that the meeting laws on public speaking in the state of Oregon are illegal under the US Constitution. And some of the rules, timing, subject matter, and types of words to be used are considered open to all. And if they are limited in any way, it is considered a reduction of your public right to speak. And I keep saying that because we still have rules about what you're allowed to say in public speaking here. It's becoming a national thing, and let's St. Helens hasn't done very well with following laws in the national press.
Next public comment. Happy, do we have anybody online?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to ask.
Almost forgot to ask too, so.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, all right, so that moves us into the employee length of service recognition. So, let me find my paper. Mohammed, you have something to say, but I'm gonna give you a little preface first. So we have an employee that has reached a milestone. So it looks like on September 11th, 2020, Aaron Kunders that's how you pronounce your name, right? Kunders? Reached 25 years. Holy smokes. And you started, Mohammed, do you want to go ahead
Yes.
and give more of a detail? I have it here, but it just feels like really empty if I say, love to have your enthusiasm.
Yeah,
Be
absolutely.
nice. If you want to come up here, and
Yes.
Aaron, do you want to come up here too? Like, it would be amazing. And then we're gonna get a picture.
Come on, Aaron. It's not that bad.
He's a shy manager, but
I love
I
it.
can't get him out of his shell.
Love it.
So yeah, first of all, congratulations, Mr. Kunders. I had the privilege to work with him in the past 5 years here as a Public Works Director. And throughout his tenure, at least under my leadership, Aaron has exemplified exemplary leadership in his role. One of the great examples I can give you, so we done some great restructuring in the Public Works Department. We had the wastewater treatment and the water filtration plant merge into one division. This is an area where leadership definitely shine, and Aaron Kunder stepped up to the plate and he took the realm and decided to take that challenge on and manage those two plants together with a lot of challenges. However, he was patient, he was driven, and made the city a lot more efficient in that department. And have produced a lot of great leadership, assembled a fantastic team. And throughout that process, he has also been promoted from a superintendent to the water quality division manager now. So 25 years is really a milestone. It's this 5 minutes is understatement for what we can say about Aaron, but I can tell you one thing. This is the man you guys want to keep happy, because you won't be able to take a shower in the morning if he's mad. Or flush your toilet for that matter, or clean drinking water in the city. So with that, I always try to, keep him in a close proximity of happiness. But no, really, congratulations. This is a great milestone. And I told him he's not eligible for retirement anytime soon,
That's good.
because we're talking about an institutional knowledge here that you've seen is extremely difficult to replace folks who has this knowledge of our entire system, and Aaron knows it from A to Z. He says, he make my job easy. I don't have to worry about the day-to-day because I know someone that is trustworthy leadership behind the scene that keeps the city running on day-to-day. So congratulations, and hopefully another 25 years to go.
Nothing's impossible.
That's good. We'd love to get a picture with the whole of you.
Yes. Do you do the honor of the certificate?
Crystal, you usually direct us in our photo shoots.
Everybody come down.
We will try not to mess up the thing.
Yeah.
I'm watching now, so I know to look for it.
Mayor, I really appreciate your approach to these, it's really great, I think, to the team members and to bring the whole.
Yeah, you
This
should.
is a new thing, and I love
It is? Okay, it should be. Do you want to do something like this, or how do you want to do it?
Aaron's in the middle.
Okay, Aaron.
Yeah, the mayor on both sides.
Okay, perfect.
Right. That's fine.
Aaron holds the certificate.
Okay, we got it. We're gonna get good at this, Crystal, I promise, because we're celebrating every employee that has a milestone.
Drawn a little closer in.
Sorry, Erin.
All right, ready?
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Erin.
Forget the pin.
Oh, look at what we did already.
Do you wanna
So
go?
we messed it up.
Let's do it right here.
Okay, we're good. We're good. That one ended up on the floor.
Oh, fine, I don't.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome.
See, that's perfectly lined.
Water should between the lagoon in the background, right?
Erin, I just want to say I brought my kiddo to take your kid to work day and we went down to the treatment facility and she learned a lot about things to not flush down the toilet.
That is
So
my.
I know. She did. So thank you. You've been wonderful.
I'd like to add more compliments than Mohammed did to how good Aaron is. I work with Aaron both as a counselor and other times. Technically very knowledgeable. He's stuck between the federal rules and pollution, which he's very well checked on, and he's been able to take a good job on. He's also got some very good ideas, and I would hope the council would listen to what should be done for the next sewer plant treatment system that's gonna have to come into St. Helens as the federal rules are changing. But he is not just a good guy, he's a super guy. He's a good teacher for both young kids and older people. But he's more than just a good guy.
Thank you,
Thank
Steve.
you.
And thank you again, Erin. Congratulations. All right, that moves us into number 3, the quarterly reports from city departments. Let me go down here. So the first one we had was Crystal King, very thorough report. We always keep her busy, so does the rest of the departments. Does anybody have any comments or anything, questions? Thought it was a great report. I appreciated seeing all the stuff that I didn't even know that you, the community info that you had put in there as well, so.
Oh, yeah, and we do, if I can, insert, we do have an official date now for trunk or treat. So I'll probably be reaching out to council to see if anybody wants to help with the food. We'll have recreation, the city, the library and police there, and that will be on October 25th.
Perfect, appreciate that. I don't. Did you, while you're talking, did you want to give any good news since you helped really hard? You put a lot of effort into promoting something that's pretty awesome for the city.
Is that what you're here, Marcy?
Well, want to steal any thunder?
I mean, this is pretty awesome thunder, like,
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna go unorthodox. We're gonna let it happen because this is pretty amazing for our city. Go ahead, you guys go ahead.
so this, we're talking about the Levitt Music grant that we had made the first cut on and then had a 2-week-long public online and texting campaign. And it came down to the wire. The voting closed at 5 p.m. on Monday. And Monday morning, so there were 100,
A little over 100.
a little over 100, 108 proposals that were going to be basically ranked 1 to 50 in this voting period. And when I woke up Monday morning and looked, we were at 59. And we're like, oh my God.
And we don't have any way of knowing, they didn't tell us, is that weighted based on city size to your votes, or is it just purely like, are we 20,000 behind, are we 100? Seriously?
Yeah, no, you can't,
There are 3, and I think, we didn't have any information about any of that.
we just saw the leaderboard.
Yeah.
But our citizens pulled through.
Our citizens pulled through. And what was really interesting, what kind of became evident after the fact, and I think I was the first one to realize that we made it.
Yeah.
I was, oh my God, I was in the tap room. We had a staff meeting that day, that afternoon at 5 o'clock for getting ready for Halloween Town. And got through with the staff meeting and everybody was milling around and I'm like, I need to just check. And I opened up my laptop and got to the page And they had taken off the leaderboard and everything and switched it to the finalists. And I'm scrolling and it was in alphabetical order. And I'm scrolling down and I'm like, oh my God, how did that happen?
Amazing.
Hail Mary.
So do you guys want to reiterate in case somebody did not see the meeting before, what exactly this entails and why this is a big deal for the city to get it to the top 50?
So the Levitt Foundation is a national network that has funding that is invested into free community concert series to both activate underutilized spaces and bring a higher caliber of music to underutilized spaces across the country. It's a in-kind matching grant for 3 years, up to 40,000 a year, so 120,000 in total over 3 years. Nonprofits are only allowed to apply, so because the city is not a nonprofit, St. Helens Main Street Alliance stepped up and applied on our behalf, and we have a partner agency with them in that. And it is for 13 Nights on the River to help support making it better and helping sustain it through the next 3 years.
Does anybody have any idea what happens now that we're in the top 50? Is there another
Yes.
voting or what can we expect?
So they are in a review process now through November 18th, and that will involve securing additional letters of support from community members. We're allowed up to 5. So we will be meeting on Monday. We have a meeting set up to talk about that and start strategize about who would be best to reach out to. We've already done some outreach to a few places. And then along with those letters of support, they'll review the initial application and look at the public voting process. And in combination of those 3, they will evaluate the top 50 finalists. And then we will know in November whether we won or not.
And they don't really say how many out of that they will end up
Select,
funding.
yeah.
Right
Right now, they have about 33, I think, that they funded for the AMP grant, which is our category of grant that we're going for.
Amazing. And to reiterate, this is just an addition to Main Street, isn't participating in the tourism aspect of it. This is just a grant opportunity to enhance.
Yes.
Be there.
That's right.
And I think the majority of the funding will go towards, we have a lot of bands locally that, because we are a small venue, they are gracious enough to work at a discounted rate with us, because they're also local. So this not only will help compensate, the local bands that we're used to seeing, who we would like to fairly compensate if we can, but it will also help in securing additional, new energy for new bands to come. Yeah. And Treadway knows about it. They're on board with it, and yes.
Great job, like Main Street and Crystal.
Thanks to our
all the work
community
that you
for
guys put in.
pulling it off.
Yeah.
And our citizens for stepping up to the
Yes.
plate and doing those text messages and all of those things. It's awesome. Good news.
Thank
Love
you.
the positivity.
So
Thank you. Thanks for coming up too, impromptu. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so that takes us into recreation. Does anybody have any comments or any feedback on this? I love these programs. I love the after-school programs. Sounds like we have about 100 some kids right now. So a lot of parents rely on these programs. It's really important, especially because it pertains to our youth in this community, in the city. Counselor Hubbard, Gunderson, do you guys have any comments at all on the staff report?
I don't.
Okay. Thank you so much for all of that, what you do for our kiddos that participate in this. All right, so that takes us over into number 4, review agreement with McKenzie for new police station at 1771 Columbia Boulevard. We have somebody online or?
We do. We have Jeff Humphreys with Mackenzie's on online, I understand, and he's going to walk you through this amendment, which the last the council took action on this was we were looking at Gable Roadside as a viable option. So the scope of work that you all approved has a lot of carryover. In that project, we moved kind of stepwise to make sure that we're spending resources efficiently, kind of go, no go kinds of decisions. And we ultimately, pretty early on just found that that's probably what the best site for the station. We're going to move to a different site. So we'll talk about the reallocation of those resources into 1771 Columbia Boulevard. And Jeff, Floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, John. Madam Mayor, councilors. So let me try to give you a little bit. I'm going to do I think I can do a screen share here. Let me give you some visuals to describe some of what John just walked through. Send a request. Okay. I think I'm having to request the ability to share screen share. And that should be the screen share. Okay, can you guys see the rendering?
We're seeing a screen that says started screen share, but oh, there we go. Now we see it.
Okay, okay. And I will try to zoom in just a little bit here. Okay. So I have a couple different exhibits here. And I think more than anything, John just wanted me to be available to answer questions related to our proposal, since we're asking you guys to approve modification. But I did want to kind of give you the overview. So at the previous site, the Castor site, we had developed a building. That building had changed shape and programmatic pieces. This was the end result of what that building looked like. This is police only. At one point, it included court and council chambers associated with it in a community room, but this is police only at the Castor site. And when we developed that for that site, this is what the Castor site layout looked like for that building. And of course, you know, we had some complications associated with that site, and we explored the Gable Road and the 1771 site. Ultimately, the city has selected, let's move forward with the 1771 Columbia site, which should be this image here. We went through a couple of test fits of how the building could be located on there. And we met over the last couple of weeks with city staff to determine which one made the most sense. This is the scheme was selected. And so the building is being oriented on the northeast corner of the lot. North is up here, Columbia Boulevard, you can see to the top, Callis at the bottom, and then nestled between 18th and 17th Street. There are some challenges associated with the site. There's a sanitary line that runs right down the middle of it here. I'm hoping you can see my hand pointing to that. And one of the things we're looking to do is route this line so that it's not being impacted by the building. And so I'm going to now toggle to the floor plan of that, just orienting you to how we would locate the building on this new site. And I have two images here. If you focus on the white background, this is the building the way it was designed to fit on the Castor site. In order to get it to fit onto the 1771 Columbia site, we will have to mirror the building. And so now if you, I'm gonna pull this over here a little bit. If you will look at the gray side, this is taking that and it's flipping it top to bottom. And so, yes, all the text and the dimensions are messed up and there'll be some administrative efforts for us to go through and clean all that up. But the first thing that we'll end up doing is flipping the building associated with it so that the entry is over in this corner up here. And I'm going to toggle back to this. What we're looking to do is develop a plaza here. So when people are coming in off of Columbia Boulevard into St. Helens, they'll be greeted by this plaza that helps set up the building. And then on the back side of the rest of the site is all secure parking, and it is actually screened. Public parking will be on the right of way. So on Columbia at 17th, and then also on Cowlitz. And so there's a fair amount of effort that will end up going through to rate the building, if you will. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is schedule. And so I've tried to make this large here. I'm going to scroll up to the top so you can see the dates. So we're basically right here at the start of this. Projects go through 4 major design phases: a pre-design phase, a schematic design phase, a design development phase, and then a construction document phase. When the site was on, or the building was being developed on Castor Road, we had gone through basically 3 of those phases. We had gone through pre-design, schematic design, and design development, and we had not done construction documents yet. You will see here in blue, design development. We're going to have to go back through that phase. And largely, the reason why we need to do that is because it's an entirely new site. We have new landscaping, we have new civil work that we'll have to do, and we'll have to do new land use approval associated with it. So this is reworking. In this phase, we'll be reworking the project a little bit to fix the site. And then when we get to this pink here, construction documents, this is the phase that we had not started yet on the Castor site. And so we will finish off the rest of the details associated with the project and go through. I'll give you a sneak preview because you're probably interested a little bit. So this is the preliminary. We still have conversations with John and Jacob that we'll be working through, and with Howard S. Wright NOTAC. But right now, we're thinking that we'll be going to sequely completing the construction documents, submitting for land use approval, going through permitting, and likely we'll be in a spot where construction will be starting in the second quarter of next year and wrapping up in the fall of 2027. And so I think everybody received the 53-page packet of our proposal. The cover page on that is this, and oops, and we'll try to zoom out here. So this would be the first page that you received. I'm not going to go into the details associated with this. I'm going to quickly go back to that table that I showed you. And if you have any questions related to any of the detail on here, I'm happy to go to those page and talk through those things. But I'm going to go to the bottom line. And so for the most part, if I go back to this all the way down here, and I'll zoom back in. So I shared with you the four major phases that we go through, that being preliminary design, schematic design, design development, and then construction documents. Land use is a separate thing, but it's usually rolled into DD, hence it's both these colors are green here. We've already completed PD, we've already completed SD. This number that you see across here, this is the amount of effort that's required in each of these different phases moving forward to complete the project. And so this number here, $958,000 that you see, that's what it will take to complete the project, and taking it all the way from where we're at now to the police department moving into it. This item that you see here, that's amount left. This is the dollars that were remaining in the contract that we currently have with you. And so again, we've completed this phase, nothing left. We hadn't finished or completed everything that was required in construction documents. This is how much was remaining in that, and in these subsequent phases here. If you subtract out what is required to finish the project from what we have remaining in our current contract with you, you get to this number here. This is what we're asking as far as contract modification goes. And those are largely these, the design development, the land use, and the adjustments required for value engineering to complete construction documents. And so that's ultimately what we're asking. And I can turn this off and not have a screen share on it, or I can turn to any pages that you might have as far as questions go related to the design scope on the project.
I have one question. Did you say that, I know you said that there would be public parking on the main road there on the boulevard, and then public parking in the back of the building? I'm kind of concerned about that.
It's all on the right of way. When I said in the back of the building on site, that's all secure parking for staff and emergency vehicles only.
So there's no parking in the front of the building for public, except for on the road.
That's correct. Yes.
There is on 17th though as well, correct?
Yeah, 17th, Columbia, and Cowlitz also has parking on it. It's on the street. It's street parking. I can
Concerns. I feel like public parking should be in the front of the building. The secure parking can be anywhere around the building. Why does it need to be on the front of the building? That's just my, but that's for like, but public parking.
let me get back to that page here real quick. This might help us a little bit. Is this one here?
You can.
Okay.
Secure parking to the PD's cars are.
So let me.
Down at the bottom, that's public parking. And the
So
back.
all of this area that here has a gray around it, this is all secure parking. So only staff and emergency authorized vehicles will basically be able to enter this space. So we have a gate here and a secondary gate here. And then the parking that would be available to the public is just on the right of way. And so we already have parking that's on 17th. We already have parking that's on, sorry, I pointed to Columbia when I said 17th, but we have parking that's on Columbia. We have parking that's on 17th. There are two subtle differences here. The city has a master plan for improvements that are going to be occurring in the downtown area. So there's going to be these little wings that occur for crosswalks and to protect the parked cars on it. So some of that will actually occur. The other thing is there's a desire to have buildings closer to the property line. And so one of the things that we're doing, and I don't know if this addresses your concern or not, but I wanted to highlight it, is that we are looking to actually, the blue is the footprint of the building. That's the occupied exterior walls of it. But this green area that you have here, we're looking to build in planters. So this will create an edge of the building. It'll bring it up to the property line. And it will also serve as a vehicle deterrent and provide a level of protection for the building from any vehicles that are accidentally or on purposely directed toward the building.
I think that makes sense. I think my concern is really, is there gonna be enough parking for the public? You know, and are we giving, you know, a space that's open to the public to come to the police station? So, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good, there are really no, we don't have a community meeting room. So the parking demand for this is 2 parking stalls. So if you're coming to the police station, probably something, it's not something you want to do, right? Either something bad has happened to you or whatnot. So this is the lobby here. This is the records desk. We have a public restroom. We have an interview room. That's basically, this space here is what's open to the public unless they're being invited into this, the secure portion of the station through this door. So there's not a big parking demand is what I'm trying to highlight to you.
We're gonna have the safety room that we had discussed in earlier designs where someone
Yep.
in event of an emergency, so. And that's gonna be that space right there that you're circling.
Yep, that's right.
Quick question on there's a T and M estimate in here.
Yeah,
I don't see,
let's see.
like, that's the one part I'm also a little bit uncomfortable is typically seeing a T and M not to exceed. I don't see that anywhere in here. I don't know if that's a discussion that we need to have as well.
Okay, so I believe what we have set up for the T&M is the construction number. That's this dollar amount right there.
355,000 or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this, I think I feel better to have a not to exceed in there. It's typically what I'm accustomed to is a T and M not to exceed.
I have a question on 17th Street. You're not going to vacate anything then?
That's correct. Really good question. That wasn't an option that we explored. There is electrical lines that run right on the property line on 17th Street. They're actually on 18th Street as well. So one of the strategies we were looking to do is to not have an impact to those electrical lines because of the complications associated with relocating them, the costs associated with them. And it doesn't just impact our property, it impacts the properties on the other side of 17th Street. So the scheme that I had just showed where the planter is separating the building from 17th Street, that's pulling the building away from those electrical lines to provide allowance for tolerance during construction and separation from the building. But we did look at that. We were trying to figure out what made the most sense. Encroach into 17th Street, reroute the utility line, or even narrow the building so that it fit between the utility line and 17th Street.
Then that forced you to move the sewer line.
That's right. Yep.
Senator.
Sewer line goes down the middle.
And then you took away double parking on 18th Street on the interior of the lot. Used to be 2 deep, and then this one is just 1 car deep.
We're not making any changes to 18th. So graphically, we just showed where the curb line is on there. So if we're not depicting it correctly, I apologize on that, but we're not making any changes to 18th.
It's all shaded, so there's,
Yeah, on 17th Street to your point, that is head-in parking now. And we will be required to do half-street improvements on that. So that's something that's being developed as part of the design work. And when we do that, that invariably will probably change to parallel parking, which is what we're depicting right now.
One other thing I noticed was that we changed that we are adding an acoustic study. Can you speak to the need for that? versus at other properties where the other, Castor Road, we didn't do an acoustic study, is that right?
Yeah, we have expanded the scope of the acoustical design, and largely it's because it's a more urban setting. And so looking to really isolate the sound from the outside of the building, so it's not causing issues for any of the work happening inside. In addition to that, we're also looking at the mechanical units and making sure that, again, sound outside of the building is not coming in and causing complications for work being occurring inside.
I think it should also be mentioned that, I think, gosh, it was a few months ago now, quite a few months ago, that Counselor Hubbard and I, came in, and I think we were sitting at over 15 million approximately for our budget, and we participated in quite a bit of value engineering to get us into our 12.6 with including soft costs as well. So there has been a lot of VE done on this project to date so far, which also has to play into the vestibules and all the other things that we've had to cut out of this for our budget to make sure that we're within it.
Yeah, and Madam Mayor, I think you were the one that asked about a not to exceed amount. I think with the contract that we're setting, that is what the expectation is, that is the dollar amount that we will need for construction. And should something change, we would come back to City Council and ask for modification of it. But we have stipulated in there exactly the quantity of meetings and the expectation of how many RFIs and those sorts of things. And so as long as the project's tracking with those, we shouldn't have any problem. It should be right there with what that number is.
Yeah, just because we have it in the budget doesn't mean we want you to use it all either. So we have to be fiscally.
Oh, 100%.
responsible. So
100%. I totally agree. That's one of the reasons why we do it as a TNM. Instead of me saying, hey, look, it's probably 355 and I just charge you for that. It's like,
yeah,
if
I'm
it's
in
only
construction.
250.
I understand,
Okay.
TNM, but
Okay.
I also really enjoy it when it doesn't have the not to exceed on it. So that would be my takeaway, that I wish that was in here. I think we had a hand up from David.
Yeah, Dave Litzert, owner's rep for the
Okay.
project.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Thank you. I have no indication in this Zoom meeting that I'm in it. The budget, Madam Mayor, is is sitting at 12,525. So we're under the 12,600, and we have $1.5 million in contingency throughout the budget. And I'm the stingiest of all, and we're going to be there or less. Could you hear me?
Yeah, I did. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I think we all heard you. Sorry.
Yeah, it flashed
Yeah, I
off my
appreciate
name.
that. Does anybody have any other questions? Or Counselor Sandin, do you have anything? Counselor Hubbard? Do you have anything else?
I just want to make sure the value engineering is going into this. And, I mean, the changes they've done, more expense now, and you were gonna use some of the parking lot existing paving, now we're putting a building over that, which is fine. And then we're gonna have to pave where the old building was, so that figure is not the same anymore. So things are changing on this that I've just seen now.
So would you like to see a recap of it? Like, I pulled out like simplify and reducing exterior finishes, materials, mechanical, electrical plumbing systems. We talked about the generator. We have one that's like 350,000 or something we're gonna use with the cities. Interior finishes, site pictures, landscaping, we beat that up. Do you want to see a breakdown of what the value engineering is?
I think it'd be it shows what we can cut off the number. I mean, it's, you and I both understand that this is a number we're not gonna go over.
Mhm.
We're not gonna do that. And, I mean, we can have them say everything, right? But, I've seen too many times where it's just, we need, another million here and there.
So
whatever.
what's your, if we have $1 million plus in contingencies, what's your ask? What would you feel comfortable? What do you want to see from them?
Councillor Hubbard, we also have a budget reduction tracker that the contractor's been involved in producing it. That we've cut $1,731,000 out of the job. In order to get down to the 12,600, under 12,600.
And I was going to highlight that if you guys have the full packet, that VE list that the mayor was just itemizing is on page 32 and 33. And that shows all of the VE items that we identified at the time, and then it shows the ones that have been approved, which ones are pending, and which ones were rejected. And if so as Dave just described, the approved amount was $1.7 million of VE, and the city rejected $670,000. So that's still out there. And then there's a pending amount of another $454,000. So all those things will still be sorted through, and that will happen in that first phase of design development. Because as we get farther into it, we may find out that this is the real cost for what's going to happen on the public right of ways, and this is what can be used on site and not. So some of the numbers will end up changing, but I think as Dave has described, there's a level of confidence between where we're currently at and the contingency that we're carrying.
I think
And we'd also contemplated the route around of that sanitary sewer, and it was formerly routed actually in the street around the building, around the whole site, but now we're only doing a portion of it, trying to minimize that amount of expense and save a little money that way.
And I had down here a risk oversight note, so, and I think maybe this is heading down what Counselor Hubbard is, I had down here a request to prepare like a risk register, so the cost exposure analysis, so identifying any possible triggers that might require further costs, right? So whether it's land use or other things like that.
I defer to you because this is your bailiwick, which you deal with this all the time.
Oh, but I could be sure that I'm gonna recommend to council that we get a consensus that you are the liaison for this project in conjunction with me, so we can, yeah. We'll see how council feels about that. But I think that's what you're getting at, right? I think did somebody else have their hand up there? Sorry.
It might have been me. I lowered it. I think we're good.
I don't have any additional questions so far.
Incidentally, the budget also has this marginal extra increase for the architect also included.
All right. Does anybody have anything else? No. Okay, well, we appreciate you guys being here and answering our questions.
Excellent. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for your time.
Anything else on that, John?
That's pretty well covered well.
Chime in if you have something. Okay. That moves us on to review punch list items for downtown projects.
Good afternoon, Mayor Massey and Council. You know, it's a positive thing today.
It is.
I like the smoothness of today, and thank you, Mr. Preheim, for a compliment. That's a Nobel Prize here. Anyway, so you asked and you shall receive. You wanted a punch list for the project. I think Council Hubbard, I can't remember who asked for this. So we have worked tirelessly to prepare a comprehensive list for you folks and walk you through this rather than give you an hour of a very boring concrete cracks presentation. We give it to you in a nice layout, documented every single crack in the entire city on the project. Also, we can answer questions, and I kind of give you a couple statistics that I think are going to be very helpful to understand the magnitude, where we are in comparison to general cracks over projects. So as you all know, we recently celebrated the largest project in the city's history. It was a great accomplishment, something we are extremely proud with the engineering team. But this large project consists of actually 3 separate projects, right? They are all broken down into your sheet. So there was the R685, that's the intersection on South First Street and St. Helens intersection. That's one big project. We have the M532, which is the underground utilities. That's another project. And then we have the P525, which is the massive street utilities project. So combine these 3, right? We accomplish all these and we have what you call a punch list. Now, every single one has its own punch list. It's all compromised in your packet. So just to give you kind of like heads up on the total amount of concrete that we poured in a project. First of all, it's extremely common in any big concrete pouring project. There will be always minor cracks that will be addressed into a punch list type of thing, and then you'll work through that. And then we have a 2-year warranty after that. So for the entire project, Mayor and Council, we have poured 76,000 square foot of concrete. Council Hubbard, if you want to do a little math here, that's about 1,200 cubic foot of concretes that for the entire 3 projects. Now, the cool part out of this, our concrete cracks, we measure those in your packet as well, but to give you just like the pie chart from 100,000 mile or 100 mile, whatever that. You know, the view from top.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever the saying is. We have less than 1% efficiency. So out of the 76,000 square foot of concrete that was poured, only 464 square feet of concrete cracks we have. So again, in layman term, 99.5% of the project is fantastic, less than 1% of concrete cracks. With that said, on paper, it looks like a lot, right? You've seen documented in front of you. And I really appreciate Mr. Breham bringing these topics up, but we have been working on this behind the scene before even it was brought up. It's just a matter of, you know, the timing and going through contracts and bringing the subcontractor fix it. So if you see a guy with the white shoes, that was BB. Personally, I went with my team to document these tracks because those are important. We want the city to look beautiful. And to give you just a little background, we have already addressed those in the past. And the second time I think we've heard about them, we went personally and look at them, and the contractor did really not do a good job. They actually made some worse by this seal, which looks terrible. So I have summoned them again, and they are here today, and we have given them this list in front of you, and I told them there is only one choice. Every single concrete crack will be replaced and fixed. There is no way out. There's no fixing, no sealing. I want all fixed. They're working on it, and that should be hopefully completed very soon.
This is all warranty work, correct?
Well, this is before the warranty, so I'm not gonna go with the contractor way, say, well, we have 2 years warranty, we'll come back and fix it. I say, no, fix everything now. I need a delivery of 100% complete. Then I would like Mr. Prehab in 2 years to do another inspection because you were helpful actually to. Well, before 2 years, because we have a warranty after they fix it. Now, even then, in 2 years timeline, if there's still concrete cracks, we have the warranty, they have to come and fix it. So with that said, we should cover
Warranty period. What's the time frame?
2 years. 2 years from the date of.
2 years. Yeah.
But then that doesn't mean they can deliver something that is not complete now, right? That has to be perfect now, and then in 2 years, if it cracks, will it? But again, in the grand scheme of thing, less than 1% of deficiency, that's really a needle in the haystack. Okay, so another topic you probably, if you haven't heard about it, we'll bring it here for transparency's sake. You've seen also the landscaping have not been great on the project, so we have also documented this in your document, and we are hammering those. I don't understand how some contractor works, and why would they create double, 3 times the work for themselves? Because we have twice already told them to rip the entire project, landscape off and redo it. And they're doing it for the 3rd time. So all that stuff that you see not growing, not being watered, they are obligated to get it up and running and fixed. And then we have another 2 years for that one. So all that will be adjusted.
I'm smiling because there was a highlight of the packet that said, is this tree supposed to look like this or is it dead?
I'm telling you, we have a fantastic team. Yeah, we really hammer them really hard. I mean, our team are working tirelessly in this. We're inspecting the sites every single day. And if something doesn't look right, they give us 2 seeds. And I think the moment I saw them, I said, those are expired seeds. They're not gonna grow. And who throws seeds on ground and expect them to grow? You gotta prepare it. You gotta, there's some work to be done. They did not do that. And last topic that I'd like to bring up is the lights on the trail. Those little bollard lights that have been broken. Those unfortunately have been broken for the 3rd time probably, or the 4th time now. We continue to get the contractor to fix these. However, we have asked him to come up with some type of creative solution where they can put some type of cap to prevent someone from coming and trying to break those.
Maybe fixed at our cost though, because if they're not.
As of now, no.
Okay,
We
so
have fixed them, I think, 2 or 3 times.
it's not a construction deficiency, so.
Really not.
vandalism, right?
Correct.
So,
Yeah, so, and unfortunately, until I think phase two gets up and running on that side, where we're gonna have some movement and people and buildings and whatever. I'm just afraid that's gonna become, a continuous problem on that side. We're trying to address it. We covered those for a reason, so nobody breaks them. Then we hear people say, why not light them up? They could be a hazard because there's a high voltage coming out of those lights. So if someone is not bright and go try to mess with it with their hands, could be, in some serious danger.
what are we doing to mitigate that?
Well, we're gonna fix them. Correct me, Alex, if I'm wrong. We have ordered the contractor to fix them 1/5 time. If they agree to that, which would be very nice of them, then we really have to come up with some type of protection around it to hopefully prevent folks from breaking this up.
It seems like a design flaw.
Let me just say, I'm
Well,
not,
I mean, yeah, but things like that should be resistant. People could hit them with their cars or something. So, I mean,
correct. Cars are far from where the trail is. That's not a concern, but the fact that they're close proximity for walking now. Yes, I would say personally, my choice would be to have long, big lights like the one we have outside, not short one. Somehow the design have some short ones, big ones. Again, there was a phase two that was supposed to be done, but we didn't do it because of funding and long story short. Hopefully this will be mitigated once again, we establish some traffic outside. You were saying something?
As of right now, those bollard lights are turned off for safety reasons, so nobody can get electrocuted with those. For safety reasons, they're all off right now.
Are
Any
you
questions?
on that, but are you willing to address the area across from the splash pad? Do you have any information on that as far as
Yes, so, and
that is
again,
a hot topic?
yes, happy to speak a little bit about it. I can also defer to John because that wasn't our project in engineering. I think that was planning department project, right? But nonetheless, we see the issues. We have met with the landscape architect who designed that project, and we have discussed in details, and we came up with a couple really great solutions to put some type of guard that will prevent the potential spillover. That was our recommendation from engineering. We passed it to our city manager and
That was also the recommendation from the architects as well. They're gonna come back with the design and for the city.
I don't understand why. The splash pad was already there, right? This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
this is council,
The
yeah,
river hasn't moved. So what's the problem here?
The design.
Design.
So their design basically said from the safety standards that it met all the safety requirements. That's why they didn't put it on there. But at some point you have to actually listen to people and kind of look and see.
Sounds like the seat or the concrete on the edge there, it's sort of a attractive nuisance then, so they're just plain in a larger circle.
It's kind of a leading edge, and the concern is children, like being that close to the proximity of a splash pad, could easily and quickly go over that edge. That's the concern that people have been vocalizing very, very
When you
loud on
really
social
look
media.
at it, you can actually see where it would. You can kind of see, when we were out there, that it would definitely be something for parents to have some concern about.
Even where the placement of the button to restart it, so the kids just take off running for the button when it goes off, and then, the one that would go past it and go onto the river walk to get up onto the seawall and.
when I brought my kids there, they were at the splash pad and I sat right on the wall. So they were not going past the wall, but I guess to each their own parenting styles, and it really comes down to just safety for everyone. So.
Back to your designer for the project. Have you talked to them about the lights? That was a bad choice they made?
which lights, the short one?
Talked about being destroyed,
Yes.
so they will come up. Is the contractor deciding that, or is your designer deciding?
Well, they were designed a while back, as you know, you weren't here, Council Hubbard, but they were designed, and then when that design is approved, they're built based on the design from, I think, OTEC Engineering.
Um,
I don't know, the smaller lights were poor design, they're just subject to more vandalism.
Yeah, I wouldn't, I mean, yeah, the design itself, we cannot categorize that as a poor design. It's a design. And it's implemented in a lot of cities and it's a common problem across a lot of cities too, that they run into the same issues. And that light could be anywhere, council, and they can be vandalized regardless, right? Whether it's here or somewhere else. I think in our case, add 1 and 2 of the project where they were supposed to be built together, they were decommissioned due to funding, and that area now is pretty much vacant where the trail is. That is more susceptible for, after hours malicious activities, someone coming in bored or someone having a bad day, but the design itself, I mean, I don't know how would that change anything? Unless you basically design something.
Spray paint a sidewalk and it's not the design of the sidewalk, that's.
Exactly. So again, bathrooms get vandalized, right? Why people do that? People cameras, we still can't do anything.
And on the cracking, I'm sure, Alex, you had submittals on all the work to be done and you approved those because I worked with you and I know how you work and I'm sure you were going through everything. The design on that where I feel that there's a lot of expansion joints that should have been included in that against buildings, water meters. You can see the cracking, that's very obvious. And I think that's a design issue that the designers should own up to if they didn't put that kind of thing in there. It's worth a conversation because that's the reason for a lot of the cracking. You don't agree with that, Mohammed?
Well, I have my personal opinion from, civil engineering, construction management standpoint. I would say if I'm a concrete expert coming in, which I don't like the way sometimes nowadays, I don't think there is any craftsmanship that is being done through people doing actually work from the heart. Because as a concrete installer, when I see something that I know is gonna crack, right? If I do concrete, I know that if there is no joint here, it's gonna crack. Now, even if the design doesn't show it, I know very well it's an extremely cheap solution. I will just put the joint. That did not happen from the subcontractor who's doing the concrete, which I don't think that was proper. They should have just put the joints and call it a day, right? Their reference on the design, yes, if the design was poor without mentioning that, that's definitely a design quality issue. That if someone is designing something and forgot to put joints, they should have put it. They are the designer, they're being paid to put the joint. So I would certainly.
Efficiency in their design.
Efficiency on the omission, yeah. Yeah, we have addressed a lot of that, actually. We document a lot of this. We have, definitely our feedback to the design and where the mistakes and the lesson learned and what not to do next.
And to add to that too, and the specifications, there's language where there's adjustments that can be made to the joint lines. Like there's language in the specs that supports the field fitting of certain joints or expansion joints and everything that the contractor should have followed. And obviously some areas with the cracks, they didn't, so.
So my only last question is there a way that we could get, like a bi-monthly update or something on this, on the progress of this punch list until it's included?
Absolutely. Well, where are we? Did the contractor come today?
They're actively working on all the punch list items as we speak, and we'll continue to monitor it.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I'm more than happy to come next month, for example, and to give you a progress on where the concrete's up. But if you actually walk the field now, you're gonna see some big R&R replace and remove or replace from the contractor. We have marked those no longer with a blue tape, now it's with paint. So the blind will see those to be replaced and they will have to replace all those. So I think they either can do it on pace, but I would say within a month, everything should be really done. In addition, some of the other stuff you're gonna see disappearing is the decommissioned poles for electrical utilities across from City Hall, some on First Street.
The dirt.
Not the dirt, the light poles.
Dirt.
The dirt, we took care of them. $700,000 saving. That was a big item that I think we have not mentioned anywhere that we saved on those.
or we don't want to talk about dirt anymore, but,
Several dirt
thank
piles.
you for the detailed pictures of this. It's really.
Yes, yes.
Appreciate the due
Please
diligence.
follow up with any questions. Happy to.
Just want to say I'm super proud of all the work that you guys have put into this, even in these final stages, you know, so I just want to say thank you to all of you guys. So.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, so number 4, we have right on time. Dang, that's really good. Review a proposed exclusive negotiated agreement, the ENA with Romano Properties and potential waterfront development. John?
All right, thank you, Mary. Yeah, this is an exciting meeting. There's a lot of big things on the agenda and David, you know.
Oh. He just asked me for the link, so he should be coming on.
Okay, yeah. We also have representatives from Romano Properties here and just to be here for this. Yeah. Momentous engagement with them to work on negotiating an agreement for the future of the waterfront property. David was going to walk through any questions you might have.
Do we want to, while we're waiting for him to get on, do we want to do the proposal for rate increases or do we want to wait for him?
Nick is here if we have questions for him for the rate increase.
You want to do number 7 first? That allows him to get online?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
You good with that, John?
yeah, if the on the agenda here is reviewing the proposed rate increases for the waste management Dropbox office. Dropbox services. This is the big metal construction boxes that you see. And we have a franchise agreement with them for those services. And it has a very prescriptive formula in that agreement of how we adjust the rates, and it's a maximum of 1.5%. If it's 50% of the amount, not to be less than 1.5%. And the rates are about 5%, so it's going to default to the 1.5% for those boxes. About that simple.
So my only question is the fact I went back and did research from 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, pulled resolutions for all of those. And 2020, we had a 0.7 increase, but then we've had a 1.5% increase every single year since then. So my concern is we can't deny it from my understanding or do anything because it's a franchise agreement. We need a violation of that contract. But my question is are we rubber stamping this increase every year considering it's a 1.5 increase? And I did some additional research. I'm not sure if I'm accurate or not, but that we can ask for more of a backup, right? So it's the calculation, more detailed data, fuel disposal. These are direct costs that get onto our citizens and here in the city. So I'm concerned that we're potentially just rubber stamping this every single year at a 1.5 in October. So that's my take on it.
Okay, and my response to that would be that we're reviewing the CPI and it's a specific CPI to that industry. And those costs, it has been
Yeah, I
each of
understand.
those years more than 3%.
Who's reviewing it?
Yeah, I understand what a CPI is, but we can request as a council more detailed data, right? So what would be based on that? The argument that we should be increasing a 1.5 consistently. I mean, if that's just the way it is every year, it's 1.5 no matter what, but is it actually that? I mean, right now, we're trying to tighten the belts on. That's just my question.
Would you like the representative from Waste Management to respond to that?
Sure. We have our representative here? Yeah. Did I miss that? Yeah. All right. Oh,
Just a sec.
And my other note was if we actually are going to be increasing and doing it, I think that there should be some, possibly if council would agree, I think this is a good opportunity. If in fact we are going to increase a cost, that maybe we utilize our social media and our communication so that we educate citizens on why it's being raised again, like why we're raising it, the CPI index or whatever the reason is.
And how it directly affects things like
Correct.
Hudson and stuff.
Correct. Hi, Nick, can you hear us? I think you're on mute.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me now?
We can. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, no worries. So just want to put this out there that I'm the ops manager for the Aloha and Columbia County sites. I am not Dave Huber. He is our public sector expert. He asked me to fill in on this. And then so I think a lot of things that you're asking, I'm gonna have to follow up with him. I do know that per our agreement, per the CPI, it is 1.5% per year. And so I'll have to follow up with you on that. And so we have about 21 customers within the city of St. Helens. And I guess I was kind of looking at if you have any operational costs with the other things, I'll have to follow up with you.
That sounds good. I do have a question on a follow-up for I appreciate more information on that because I think we need to do a better job in communicating with our citizens and when we do have our businesses, when we have rate increases, I think we need to do a better job at that. So I'd appreciate that. But I also am curious if I am not exactly aware of everything that you guys might do to help with like our nonprofits or things that are going on here in the city. And if we're, you're allowed or permitted per the contract to have a 1.5 CPI increase every year, are we doing anything else additionally to help with any of the events or anything else we have going on here?
Other than
Way to
that,
give it back to the city is what I'm getting at.
you know what? We would be happy to work with the city. I know we work closely with Scappoose and Vernonia and with Columbia County, such as hazardous waste, Vernonia Jamboree. There's events during Scappoose uses our boxes, and we like to work with our community and make sure that we're a part of it. I mean, we have a handful of the members on our team that live in Columbia County, and we service the city of St. Helens, and I really believe that we're a fit structure there, and we want to be a part of this community. I know I was in Scappoose and St. Helens a little bit earlier today. Main office is in Aloha, and I love getting out there. Our safety record is impeccable out there, and specifically St. Helens. We have one roll-off driver that operates out there, and he has not had a vehicle accident since he's been with Waste Management. So knock on wood, we want to continue that safe standard and keep everybody safe out on the road.
Appreciate that. Well, maybe we can further conversations with, I know we have conversations with Hudson, but more the merrier, right? When we can get some additional assistance. So maybe that's something we can look at with Treadway or somebody else. And that'd be great if you could, participate in some way with the city to help give back on these increases every year if we're stuck with them.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Perfect. I don't have, Counselor Sunday, do you have any questions? Council President? Counselor Hubbard? Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much, Nick. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Do we have David on the phone yet? Yeah. All right. Sorry, Kathy, we're keeping you moving today over there. You're doing great.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and Council.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here.
You bet. So what can I discuss with you at this time?
Well, thank you for breaking the awkward silence there. That's appreciated. I think, John, if you want to start us off and go back to how exciting this whole
Yeah,
thing
it's really, it's an exciting day. It's an exciting opportunity. Toronto Properties, the city's opportunity to enter into an agreement to negotiate with them on the terms and conditions of development project for the waterfront is really exciting. Hopefully for both parties. And David, I don't know if you want to just go through the highlights about the timelines and things of that nature.
So when we last spoke about this, there were a couple of outstanding items to negotiate. In particular was Romano Capital's request that the city potentially be willing to, or be on the hook for the cost of third-party reports if the deal did not close. And agreed to go back and make a counter proposal where the city would agree to cap what they would be willing to do up to a certain percentage of the cost, and we would see if Romano Capital would agree to that. And that they did. We made a proposal that the city would agree to reimburse the developer 50% of the cost up to a maximum of $100,000 for third-party reports. So I think that actually came in at the low end of what we were hoping we could achieve. And again, this is only due in the event that city ends up terminating the agreement and this deal does not go forward. And certainly no one's entering into this with any expectation that that is what's going to occur. So what we need now at this point is there's, I think, one date item that needs to be filled in, which I will speak to John about. But other than that, I'm hoping everybody's been able to read the revised draft report or agreement, and then we can clean it up. And if council approves, circulate for signatures and start the process of allowing them to embark on their due diligence.
Should note that Representative Romano's here if you want to invite them up to say anything.
Welcome if you want
I'm Joel.
to come up.
Yeah, sure.
All right, welcome to the party, Joel. Come on up here.
So Greg was supposed to be here.
I don't want to say like you're the next contestant on The Price is Right or
Something
something.
like that. Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
Madam Mayor, thank you. Thanks for having us. Thanks for considering this. So Greg is held away on a personal matter. So if there's questions that come out of this or more clarification, I know John and Greg have been in contact and he'd be willing to answer any of those things.
Yeah, we're excited. We hope you are too.
We are excited, very excited. So it's a huge project and
I'm excited to see some of the concepts that
those come quick.
I'm excited to see
We're
that.
seeing our downtown as it's just coming alive
Yeah.
this season.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very exciting. So
So, Madam Council, there's a Exhibit D to the agreement contains a variety of milestone dates. So if people are interested in sort of what is the timeline for things to occur and how long does this agreement go for? They're all set forth in Exhibit D. I mean, happy to answer any questions, but it's pretty self-explanatory. But the next step in the process is getting the final version of the agreement out, getting authority to get it executed and over to Romano Capital so they can execute it and make the agreement effective. And then after that, all the timelines in Exhibit D start to get triggered. So there's a lot to be done in the next 6 months, assuming everybody's on board for moving this forward. But happy to answer any other questions, but I think we discussed this at a fair amount of length last time, and a couple of items that we needed to bring back to Romano, I was very happy and pleased with how quickly they responded and the cooperativeness of it. So looking forward to being able to get this going.
well,
Yeah,
A partnership.
we first met in March to hear a presentation from them. So
Time flies when you're having fun.
that's
Counselor Sundin, do you have anything? Council President, do you have anything?
I don't have any questions. I'm looking forward to the next steps and sharing that with the public and including them on this experience.
yeah, we are as well. Like he said, there's a lot of work to be done.
Hmm.
And it happens fast.
So Hubbard, do you have any questions or comments?
Just a question maybe to clarify, when they get close to, everything goes through, everything's going great, and then they want a parcel to develop. Are we gonna identify that and come up with a sales price at that time, or how's this agreement gonna work down the road?
I know the actual acquisition of any particular parcel and the terms and conditions of that are subject to a different agreement, is my understanding. All this is gives them a 6-month window of exclusivity to do evaluation and develop plans and come up with concept. And, you know, in exchange for which they're going to be doing an awful lot of work. So, but to the extent there's anything agreed upon later, you know, a specific parcel of land, specific design that people want to proceed forward with that matches, you know, and is consistent with the city plans, but that would all be in a subsequent agreement. So we anticipate a series of development agreements that would come after this.
That's great. I think we got a good partner.
Counselor.
I'm good. No, I think, no.
Well, we don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for being here. Thank you, David.
Enjoy St. Helens.
Yeah, and just so I'm clear, I have council's authority to finalize, clean up the agreement and circulate for signature.
Do that for a motion.
Yeah, that's gonna be on the city council's agenda this evening. And so
Okay.
they'll let you know how that goes that time.
I will look forward to hearing, and I'll probably be speaking to you all in about 30 odd minutes.
Thank you, David.
All right, thanks, everybody.
All right. So that takes us to number 8, review proposed amendments to Parks and Recreation, manager job description. John, that's you.
Yeah, that should be pretty straightforward. Our Parks and Recreation Manager position was separated several years ago on the, the parks on the maintenance side and recreation on the operation side. And the job description was never updated, and for no particular reason, we're finally got to it and had made the recreation manager just that. And that is on for tonight. Once this job description is approved, we'll address the compensation issues and have a pay equity or study for that position to confirm where we're at in the market with that.
I appreciate that we're doing due diligence and thoroughly going through these job descriptions, like one at a time and getting them done. I think that's great movement. Bunch of administrative housekeeping, so to speak. This one was redlined a lot. On it, Counselor Savine, do you have any?
I don't.
All right, so we can move on from there. All right, that takes us to the city administrator report. You again, John.
All right, thank you, Mary. A lot of exciting things today. The UNA Romano, later tonight, we'll have a public hearing about additional property for industrial development, which is very exciting as well. Getting more jobs back in St. Helens would be wonderful. Congratulations to Main Street for making the short list. Yeah, making the top 50 with the Levitt grant and the voting and all the work that went into that. That's just wonderful. Last week, I represented the city at the GROW conference in Growing Rural Oregon. It's a grant that the city pursued and received several years ago. It was a $500,000 grant, doled out $100,000 at a year, and it's aimed at supporting entrepreneurs. And the city, rather than prop up its own program, partnered with Columbia Economic Team and the Small Business Resource Center. We've been directing those resources there. Good conference. This is one of 4 pilot projects around the state that the Ford family is the money behind this is funding. And Klamath Falls, Independence, and St. Helens are all excelling fairly well. There's one other city that dropped out just due to capacity, but exciting, good work, and appreciate the support. And it seems like something that's going to build on itself. These resources, and they're looking to more resources into the community. As our role as the city and facilitating things, providing services and facilitating other services, I think that's what we're here to do. I've been working with Gloria on rate studies for utilities, getting that lined up. We're also looking at financial planning. When you look at our budget and 5-year forecast, it is a pretty, and we have some strategies about how we're going to stop this downward turn. Looking at bringing more financial consultant in to have a cursory look and develop a plan to basically stop the pull up on the, the submarine. I could just getting something right. We've had some problems with your phone system. If you called my phone, you may or may not have got through. It goes on and off several times a day throughout the city. We understand that it's at the end of its life, not supported anymore, so yeah, Mitel. So we're looking at some solutions there. Yeah, there's some good work going on.
Well, and we got a celebrated 25-year employee today, which is
Eric
awesome.
Hunter's 25 years that's pretty, we've had a lot of people retiring and losing that. The longevity and the tenure. It's sad to see him go. Good for them for the service they've had to the community. And it just really speaks, to me, it speaks loudly of the commitment our employees have to the city. It's wonderful. They come here and stay.
Yep.
Institutional knowledge is really important.
You have anything else?
No.
John, do you have anything else?
Probably, but that's all that comes to mind now.
We're gonna end on a high note here. Okay. All right, so following the conclusion of this council work session, we're gonna be going into executive session. It's going to take place for topics including labor negotiations under ORS 192-6602D, real property transactions under ORS 192-6602E, exempt records, confidential attorney-client privilege memo under ORS 192-6602F, and consult with counsel potential litigation under ORS 192-6602H. Representative of the news media staff and other persons as approved shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are now asked to leave the council chambers. And this meeting is adjourned.